There comes a moment in almost every ambitious person's life when they realize the hardest part isn't the work. It's the loneliness that comes with choosing it. Not everyone will understand why you wake up before sunrise, why you spend your weekends building something no one believes in, why you disappear for months, why you stopped attending every gathering, why you became so different. At first, you try to explain yourself. You tell people about the vision, the plan, the goal. You hope that if you choose the right words, they'll finally understand. But something strange happens. The more you explain, the smaller your vision becomes. Not because your dream changed, but because you keep translating it into a language comfortable enough for everyone else to accept. You begin editing yourself, softening your ambition, justifying your discipline, apologizing for your absence, all to avoid one uncomfortable feeling: being misunderstood. But what if that's the price of building something extraordinary? What if every minute spent convincing people you're on the right path is a minute stolen from actually walking it? History has a strange pattern. The people who change the world now rarely understood while they're changing it. They're called unrealistic, obsessive, selfish, and even delusional. Until one day, the results arrive. And suddenly, the very qualities people criticized become the qualities they admire. The difference wasn't public opinion. The difference was time. Long before success, before ambition, before careers, there was one rule that determined whether you survived: stay with the tribe. For most of human history, being accepted wasn't just comforting, it was essential. To be separated from the group meant facing the wilderness alone. No protection, no food, no certainty. Your brain remembers that history. Even if your life no longer depends on fitting in, your nervous system still treats social rejection as a threat. That's why criticism lingers longer than compliments. Why one disapproving comment can outweigh 100 encouraging ones. Why being misunderstood feels strangely painful, even when you know you're doing the right thing. The need to be understood isn't weakness, it's human nature. But what once protected us can quietly become the very thing that limits us. Because every meaningful ambition eventually asks you to leave the tribe behind. Not physically, but psychologically. The moment you choose a path that isn't familiar, people begin comparing it to the only reality they've ever known. If you leave a stable job to build a business, they call you reckless. If you spend years mastering a craft instead of chasing comfort, they call you obsessed. If you protect your time, they say you've changed. If you stop explaining yourself, they assume you're arrogant. Notice something. The judgment almost always says more about their expectations than your decisions. People don't evaluate your life objectively. They evaluate it through the limits of their own experience. Someone who has never taken a risk will struggle to understand why you would. Someone who values security above freedom will see your ambition as unnecessary. Someone who has never sacrificed today for tomorrow will mistake your discipline for deprivation. They aren't trying to misunderstand you. They're simply interpreting your choices through a map that was never designed to lead where you're going. And without realizing it, you begin trying to redraw your map so they can read it. You explain your decisions. You justify your priorities. You soften your convictions. Not because your vision changed, but because being misunderstood feels heavier than compromising. That's the addiction. Not approval. Understanding. The hope that if you just explain yourself one more time, everyone will finally see what you see. But they won't. Because some journeys can only be understood by the people willing to walk them. The question isn't whether people understand your vision. The real question is why you've made their understanding a requirement for pursuing it. There is a question that follows almost every unconventional decision. Why? Why would you leave a secure job? Why would you spend years building something that isn't guaranteed to work? Why are you always so busy? Why don't you come out anymore? Why are you taking such a big risk? At first, those questions seem harmless. People are just curious. So you answer them. You explain your vision, your strategy, your timeline. You defend your decisions with logic, hoping that if you present enough evidence, they'll finally understand. But something strange begins to happen. You spend more time explaining the work than actually doing it. Every conversation becomes another presentation, another attempt to justify your future to people who never asked for the responsibility of believing in it. And slowly, without realizing it, your attention shifts. You stop asking, "What does this project need?" and start asking, "How can I make this make sense to everyone else?" That's the explanation trap. The moment your energy stops serving your mission and starts serving public approval. The irony is, most people aren't trying to understand your future. They're trying to fit it into the limits of their present. When someone has spent 20 years believing security is the highest goal, your decision to pursue uncertainty won't look courageous. It will look irresponsible. When someone measures success by comfort, your sacrifice will look like suffering. When someone has never built something from nothing, your persistence will look like obsession. They aren't rejecting your dream, they're translating it through a life that was built on different assumptions. And that's a translation you can never fully control. So every explanation becomes a negotiation. You simplify your ambition. You soften your convictions. You remove the parts that sound impossible. Until one day, you aren't describing your vision anymore. You're describing a version of it that makes other people comfortable. But extraordinary ideas have never been comfortable. They're disruptive. They're inconvenient. They challenge the stories people tell themselves about what's realistic. That's why history remembers innovators, not for how well they explained themselves, but for how relentlessly they executed. Steve Jobs didn't convince everyone the iPhone would change the world before he built it. The Wright brothers weren't widely believed before they flew. Every breakthrough looks irrational, right up until it works. Maybe your job isn't to make your vision understandable. Maybe your job is simply to make it real. Because the greatest ideas rarely win the argument first. They win reality first. We spend so much of our lives trying to avoid being misunderstood that we never stop to ask a different question. What if being misunderstood is actually useful? Think about how most people operate. The moment they announce a new goal, they invite opinions, advice, expectations, doubt. Some people will support them, many won't, but almost all of them will have something to say. And every opinion demands a response, a defense, an explanation, a piece of your attention. High achievers understand something different. Attention is a limited resource. Every minute spent managing people's perceptions is a minute not spent building the future they can't yet see. That's why the most focused people often seem distant, not because they dislike people, but because they've learned to protect their attention. They've realized that silence creates something incredibly valuable. Space. Space to think, space to experiment, space to fail privately. Space to change direction without announcing it to the world. When no one expects anything from you, you become free to improve without performing. There's another advantage that few people ever consider: being underestimated. Most people hate it. They fight it. They rush to prove everyone wrong. But being underestimated is one of the safest places to grow, because expectations create pressure. Low expectations create freedom. When people assume you won't succeed, they stop watching. They stop interfering. They stop offering unsolicited advice. They leave you alone. And that solitude becomes your greatest competitive advantage. History is filled with people who looked ordinary, right until the moment they weren't. The entrepreneur dismissed as unrealistic, the athlete overlooked by recruiters, the artist whose work was rejected, the inventor people laughed at. Their greatest breakthroughs didn't happen while everyone believed in them. They happened while almost nobody was paying attention. There's a strange irony here. The less energy you spend trying to control your reputation, the more energy you have to build one. And reputation, when earned through consistent results, is far more powerful than any explanation you'll ever give. Maybe being misunderstood isn't evidence that you're on the wrong path. Maybe it's evidence that you're walking one few people have walked before. Because the road to extraordinary achievement has always been lonely. Not because greatness rejects people, but because most people turn back long before reaching it. There comes a moment in every ambitious person's journey when they have to choose between two scorecards. The first belongs to the world. It measures likes, recognition, status, applause, approval. It asks questions like, do people admire me? Do they understand what I'm doing? Am I being recognized for my effort? At first, this scorecard feels rewarding, because every compliment gives you confidence. Every word of encouragement feels like fuel, but there's a hidden problem. The moment your confidence depends on other people, it also becomes vulnerable to other people. If praise can lift you, criticism can break you. If approval becomes your fuel, disapproval becomes your weakness. You've handed strangers the steering wheel to your emotional life. High achievers eventually realize that's too expensive. So they build a different scorecard, one the world can never touch, an internal scorecard. Instead of asking, did they understand me? They ask, did I honor my standards today? Did I keep my word? Did I do the difficult thing? Did I move closer to the person I'm trying to become? Did I act with integrity, even when nobody was watching? Notice the difference. The external scorecard is outcome-driven. The internal scorecard is character-driven. One depends on applause. The other depends on alignment. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. The world is inconsistent. Sometimes it celebrates shallow work. Sometimes it ignores extraordinary work. Sometimes the loudest voice receives the most attention, while the quietest mastery goes unnoticed for years. If your self-worth rises and falls with public opinion, your life will feel like a stock market, always fluctuating, always reacting, always waiting for someone else to decide your value. But an internal scorecard creates something much more powerful: stability. It allows you to walk away from a day with zero praise and still know you won. Not because the world noticed, but because you became slightly stronger than you were yesterday. That's the kind of confidence people mistake for arrogance. It isn't arrogance, it's independence. The quiet certainty that your standards are no longer rented from the opinions of others. The strongest people in the world aren't the ones who never face criticism. They're the ones who stopped asking criticism for permission to continue. Because once your identity is anchored to your own principles, being misunderstood stops feeling like rejection. It simply becomes background noise. There is something strangely peaceful about no longer feeling the need to explain yourself. Not because the world suddenly understands you, but because you've stopped expecting it to. You realize that most arguments, never needed to be won. Most opinions never needed to be corrected. Most misunderstandings never needed to be resolved. They only felt urgent because you believed your progress depended on being understood. But it never did. The greatest advantage you can give yourself is the freedom to build without asking the audience for permission, to create without announcing every step, to improve without documenting every milestone, to disappear long enough for your work to become impossible to ignore. Because the world has a fascinating habit. It mocks what it doesn't understand. It questions what it hasn't seen before. It resists what challenges its assumptions. Until one day, the evidence becomes too obvious to deny. The same discipline they once called obsession becomes commitment. The same isolation they called loneliness becomes focus. The same ambition they called unrealistic becomes vision. Nothing about your behavior changed, only the results did. And suddenly, people rewrite the story. Not because they discovered something new about you, but because success gave them a language they already understood. That's why high achievers rarely waste time trying to change opinions. They understand that reality is a far more convincing argument than words. 1,000 explanations can be dismissed. One undeniable result cannot. So let people misunderstand you. Let them underestimate you. Let them believe you're moving too slowly, thinking too differently, dreaming too big. Because while they're trying to explain your life, you'll be busy building it. One day, people will say, "I always knew you would make it." Smile. Not because they're telling the truth, but because you remember the silence, the doubt, the conversations where no one understood. And you'll realize those moments were never obstacles. They were the price of becoming someone who no longer needed permission to be themselves. Stop trying to be understood. Start becoming undeniable. Because in the end, results speak a language that no explanation ever could.